Welcome to the Modern Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player led and player focused. And guys, tonight I'm back with a video. I said I want to get something out. I don't even have my black TMSS shirt on because I said I'm going to start making these lives a lot more casual. It's been a while since I kind of I don't know, I haven't been dropping consistently. You got to forgive me. I apologize. But I have been watching a lot of football. And so, with that being said, I hope you have too. We've had a lot of week one, week two, week zero, week one, week two matchups. And tonight we're going to look at Oklahoma versus Michigan. Oklahoma surprised me, man. I was not expecting that out this Oklahoma team. I'm a ball knower. I really believe I am. However, there are some guys that were speaking about John Mateer in the preseason. And I'm not one to believe the hype. So John Mateer, he came out, he showed me he was a baller. And I have a lot of faith in this Oklahoma team after seeing the way they played Michigan. Now, granted, Michigan is not the most impressive team on film, which we're going to get into tonight. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're only a couple years removed from a national championship. And I mean, this was a an upset essentially. I think Michigan was ranked 15 going into this game, and Oklahoma ranked 18 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So, with that being said, we're gonna get into some film. I got some thoughts on some of the stuff that I've seen, but ultimately, we're answering the question: how did Oklahoma beat Michigan? So, let's dive right into that. Okay, so this guy John Mateer, he can really fit the ball in some tight windows, man. And his culmination, his makeup of size, speed, athleticism. Normally, when you see guys with his kind of build, they don't have the arm to go with it, right? I might use like Cam Newton, for example, because that's kind of who I thought about. Now, I don't feel like he's quite as athletic as Cam Newton, but I do feel that he can throw the ball much better than Cam could at this age in his college career or whatever. All right, so let's just take a look at this. All right. So for starters, this Michigan defensive line, right? Michigan, they have a great defensive play caller in Wink Martindale. He is someone with a lot of tenure in the college football arena, and he does a very good job. I feel like disguising his pressures, disguising his coverages, and stuff like that on the back end. So here we're counting six guys right here, hugged to the line of scrimmage, and really here we're playing with one down lineman with his hand in the dirt. Okay. Everybody else are in these stunt fronts and these stunt alignments. Gonna have like a 4 eye here. Gonna have almost like a three here. This linebacker here is mugged up in the A gap. This guard here, or excuse me, this nose here, is playing a little shade over the center. Okay, almost like a one technique, and then we got this guy here in the wide nine. Okay, and then on the back end, right, got here, 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 here. So on the back end, we're almost like in a three high safety look. Okay. Uh and like I said, I think Wink Martindale does a good job at disguising what he's trying to get into. Offensively for Oklahoma, they're gonna go to this three by look to the well really their MOF here, meaning middle of the field. They're gonna go to this three by look. You're gonna have a quick motion from this back here. He's gonna flare out or motion out pre-snap to the single side receiver and become the new either number two or number one, just based on how this looks post snap. Okay. Now that's a tight window for John Mateer to just fit this ball in. And it looks like this our corner here really has cover two eyes. And that's what I'm looking. I don't know. And sometimes watching film is kind of hard to give you like a full assessment, especially TV film, because we don't have the full angle. But I do know my guy TJ Metcalf right here. This is an Arkansas transfer. And like I mentioned on Shaq McRoy's episode, would love to get TJ on the podcast next off season, in the off season. But we'll make that happen. We'll make it happen. So here he's just gonna buzz almost to a third. It looks like this guy's gonna buzz to the middle of the field, and this guy here is gonna buzz to another third. Look at those guys kind of fan out. So I guess we'll stick with that. 3 deep, 4 underneath. We got this guy here playing underneath. This guy here probably playing like a more of a weak hook defender. And I'm sure we got a strong hook down in here somewhere. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we got 8 dropping, excuse me, we got 6 dropping back in coverage. So we're gonna play 3 deep, 3 under. This guy here is probably responsible for a quarter flat. Why am I saying a quarter flat? Probably more like a skiff player. No. I'm tripping. Not a skiff. We just saying we'll just label him. He's like a curl hook player. This guy's probably like a playing like a bingo dropper. And then we also gonna have another guy in here somewhere, probably playing like another hook curl. Okay. But like I said, John Mateer just squeezes this ball in this window, makes it hard on the defense to really react to that. That was a good read to him. Good job getting this ball out because he had somebody pretty much barreling out like this lineman. He's gonna come free, and he knew where his hot was. I doubt this was the hot route, but he knew to get the ball out quick because he had somebody coming unblocked. This guy here, guy that was showing pre-snap, he's just gonna come free right here, untouched. And he got the ball out quick. And that was a great game by Deion Burks too. I think Deion Burks balled out. I think he was hurt last season, if I'm not mistaken. And so it was good to see him kind of make some plays. And I wasn't able to watch this full game. However, I was able to pick up like the first half of the game, bits and pieces of it, and then like the back half of the game. All right. Let's see what we got here. So here, just a regular schmegular. We're gonna have TJ Metcalf playing like this nickel right here. Okay. And then we're gonna have this safety. This is a middle of the field, or this is supposed to be like a split field safety, but he's gonna be walked up, almost playing like at linebacker depth. We got this guy here, this corner, another safety. And so really and truly, I want to call this like a 4-2-5. Let's see how everything shapes out pre-snap. We're in 11 personnel here with this tray look to the field and a motion coming from the boundary. So let's see here. So this is a pure man look, and we know that, right? This motion here is an identifier. We know that because this boundary cornerback, right? Let's write that neater. We know that because this boundary corner is going to follow this number 1 all the way here to become the new number 3. And then as far as what we look like in the run game, we're going to have this counter, right? We got this guard pulling. He's coming front side. And then we have this YH, whatever you want to call it. He's coming around and pulling too. Counter equals gap scheme. It's almost like this quarterback draw counter. And John Mateer, again, like we talked about, just a perfect mix. I truly did not know this guy was as athletic as he showed us in this Michigan game. I mean, look at this play here. You're gonna see him. The fake pass, make a few guys miss. I mean, this Oklahoma team, if they stay healthy, they're going to give some defenses some problems in SEC play, like some real issues. And yes, guys, the focal point of this show was more based on the SEC. So I am taking a special look at Oklahoma today. As the season goes on and we see more of these matchups, definitely going to focus on maybe some teams outside the SEC too. All right, let's go here. So we really got 5 guys attached to the line of scrimmage. You almost want to call this like a bear front. We got these guys like almost in like a two twos and a 0. They're playing real tight. It's a short yardage situation with 4th and 1. Okay, so that means these backers, as you can see, he's already on his toes. He's got to play fast. I think his depth. I'm sure his coach probably said something to him this week, or will say something to him this week about his depth and where his heels are with this down and distance. 4th and 1, kind of want to be up here because we really know what to expect in this situation. I would say like 85% of the time. And then this here is just a simple quarterback keeper. They are going to gap scheme this, right? And we know that because we got this guard pull right here, 54. He's going to come and kick. He's going to come and kick this in. And then this quarterback is really just power blocking down. And John Mateer's job is just to, get in where he fits in and pick up this first down. And he does a good job, right? Takes a few guys with him. That's just the perks of being that size in those situations. All right. As you can see, now we're normal D&D. So these guys are going to, kind of space their alignment here on the defensive line. Going more to like it's almost like a Okie. No. Let's see. We got this defensive end right here. He's lined up in almost like a 6 technique, head up this tight end. Looks like we have like a 4 technique, head up this tackle. We got a 1 right here. And we got a 5 right here. Like an 8 right here, being that this 8 or excuse me, 9 right here, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. This guy here in the 9 right here. Pretty much fitting off of this sniffer. going to get a motion from the boundary by Deion Burks. And I think right here, Oklahoma, this is just a great play call. They really took advantage. They really took advantage of, I think, Michigan's alignment on defense. Really just took advantage of space as well, creating leverage for themselves. I think they understood Michigan's personnel right here. They were a little bit heavier, especially being like in the low red. And so they get some good blocks. And then Deion Burks, right, just does what he does as a playmaker. I think this is a better angle of this. Okay. Let's see what we got here as far as blocking scheme goes. Okay, so we're going to get just some combos. Got a combo here. Pretty much got a combo here. This is a free guy. Guy coming here, he's free. So we also, the concept of the play is we're trying to get to the edge. So as a play caller, we know that there are guys that can go unblocked because we're beating them with what? Speed. And that's exactly what we do. I mean, this guy here, they're gonna combo, but then he knows he's behind the play at this point. He's gonna kind of fake chip here, but he's also trying to climb, get up to this second level to kick out this linebacker. And then at this point, it's just really getting a hat on the hat. Got to get a hat on the hat. And if I'm being honest, I'm gonna play this a little bit more, but this is where the real blocking takes place, right here. Check out how this guy wins his matchup. Look at that. That's great blocking. Great scheme. Great blocking. So that's good stuff. Very good stuff. All right, moving on. Moving on. I need like a clicker, like a button where I can get in and out this quick so we're not having to watch the same play 3 times. All right. So let's look at what Michigan did on offense too. Okay. I think Michigan, they did a very for this to be Bryce Underwood's very first, start on the road against a ranked opponent, right? I think they did a very good job at trying to create ways for him to be comfortable, right? Including things, but not limited to, getting him outside the pocket to create some easy throws on the run for him, and just some easy dink and dunks. They did that very good early. Now, granted, I think here it wasn't as how they drew this up. This guy here, he gonna come screaming down and get in his face. I still feel like underneath this pressure though, Bryce does a good job getting the ball to a playmaker in space, and this guy gets upfield, picks up a first down. But defensively, let's look at that play defensively. Kind of how did it break down and what happened right here? So I think, at this point in the game, this is pretty much their first possession. I think everyone just kind of played run just based on personnel, based on assignment. And this Oklahoma defense kind of got sucked in a little too much. Good pass, good run fake by Bryce Underwood to kind of pull those guys in. And then the rest is just, like I said, getting the playmaker the ball in space. All right. See, here we're going to start in 10 personnel. We're going to start off in 10 personnel. We're going to get a motion action here. And really and truly, I laughed, right, because Justice Haynes and Bryce Underwood had a moment in the game where they got into it. And after I watched the highlights and some of the tape I've seen, I understand why they got into it on the sideline. And there are a few plays I'm going to show you throughout the rest of this where Justice Haynes was getting his ass lit up the entire night. And so if I'm him, I'm probably saying the same thing to my quarterback. Hey man, stop throwing me these damn hospital balls. But Oklahoma defensively right there just does a good job at getting and let me tell you something. This number 5 right here, this guy, hold on. Hold on, where he at? The one that make this dude right here, ball player. He has a few plays, and granted, not, of course, these guys are the ones that make the play, right? Don't want to overlook them. However, number 5, as you'll see as I continue to roll this, he made some plays. He made some plays. This dude here, like I said, this my guy off over to the side over here. These guys created this play, and number 5, I'm gonna pay attention to him more as the season goes along. He just came in and cleaned it up. Put a hat on the hat. All right, offensively, back for Oklahoma. Okay, very reminiscent of last year where they had Mason Graham and I think what's his name, Kenneth Grant. I want to say anchoring this defense. However, these are new dudes and don't quite have that experience that they had last year, and in a sense, not and in a sense the ability also. So just something to note. Now this is John Mateer just being a good quarterback. I mean, like pent up. This of course this is a safety if the pressure gets to you. But he's not phased by it. He's gonna sit in the pocket. All right, we're in 11 personnel on offense right now. Add some 6-man protection, really 6 or 7-man protection here. We duos to the field, ball to the on the left hash, a condensed split down here on the single receiver side. But look at this. I mean, look at the protection that John is gonna get. And granted, we got to see how it plays out. Of course, as they head into SEC play. But like I said, this Michigan team, they weren't slouches. Um, I think they were capable of going on the road and putting up a fight like they did. I mean, Oklahoma only won by 11 points. But John Mateer is going to stand in the pocket, deliver a strike to none other than Deion Burks, and he's that does real good with his spatial awareness, knowing where he's at on the sideline. And so this was a beautiful catch and throw. Like I say, man, I was unfamiliar. I am for what they say on X. I was unfamiliar with your game, but I'm very familiar now. Very familiar. Like some of these balls, man, it's like, come on. And then I said I'm gonna get this guy the credit he want. Watch this. Watch this guy right here. Watch this GA. What's that about, man? He wants some. He wanted a spotlight. There you go. All right. Okay. Now again, right? These shifts, these motions, right? We always and this is dating back to last season when we would uh, do these film breakdowns. These are none other than identifiers. What type of coverages? What kind of how is the defense adjusting to their gap control? Like, how can we identify what the defense is trying to do so we can hit us a home run? Okay. And this Oklahoma defense, they just did a good job at just playing tenacious, getting to the ball. Look how this. Look at here. All right, so look how my guy here, he's gonna zone down. He sees zone opposite, so he's gonna squeeze. He has to squeeze because 9 times out of 10, okay, 9 times out of 10, if we got zone, 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 zone. What we got? Something coming back to kick you out. So watch this playmaker. Watch what he's gonna do. He's gonna squeeze this gap, and then he's gonna take on this kicker right here, blow him up. That's what makes the play. He's gonna keep this edge contained and not get washed, or excuse me, not get kicked out. And that's what makes this play. That's what makes this play. We got two guys playing one gap, and we got flow coming back to us. So it's stuff like that where if your defense can continue to create explosives and TFLs like that on the defensive side of the ball, you will be successful. I'm also in the middle of watching this Vikings and Bears game, but this is good stuff, man. This is very good stuff. So here we got this look. We're going to have two guys mugged up in these B gaps. Okay. Or this guy more mugged than the A gap, rather B. This guy here is more head up. Really, we could say just head up tight end or head up guards. They're head up guards. And then we got this three-man front. Okay. And this is going to be just a simulated pressure. We're going to have one come out. Showing 5, sending 4. Where are they coming from? They are coming here. And then you got your one-on-one there. This is just a busted coverage right here, man. Because, I mean, with Bryce Underwood, obviously, I think here in a couple years, we could, we might be able to put him in that category with John Mateer. As far as they both possess kind of similar qualities and characteristics. They got the height, the athleticism. And Bryce Underwood's arm is a lot better than what I would have imagined him coming into college. I thought he was more going to be like I said, that Cam Newton type of quarterback, very athletic, not really much to show for it as far as arm strength and touch and feel goes. But he definitely impressed me some with some of his throws also in this Oklahoma game. That's just a good throw. And him obviously putting pressure on the line of scrimmage just puts these corners in a tough predicament. Because it's like, okay, here, do I come down and nope, we got somebody coming backside. So just it's sometimes no matter how much you scheme it up, playmakers just got to make plays. All right. So here we got this quads look to the field. Quads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got this quads look in the single receiver side here to the boundary. Now, this is what I'm talking about when I said Justice Haynes was delivering hospital balls. Number 5 is coming down here making plays, man. And this is not the only one. It's going to be a few more plays where we see Justice Haynes get dealt a bad hand. He had him a 7, but made up with it. He had him a 75-yard touchdown call, so it works. Man. All right. Just a simple 4-2-5, or really a 4-3 look, because we got this backer here flexed out. Got our 4-down lineman. And we're going to motion out here to the 3 receiver side. Everything is going to bump, bump, bump. We got to bump the coverage. We got to bump, and everybody has to fit off their man, fit off their gaps. We're going to see this late slide. I'm sorry. Okay. We're going to see these guys kind of tap their feet and get outside. This is just a strike, right? You got this number 1 receiver. Sorry. We got this number 1 receiver, though. Guy at the bottom of the screen. I got to give me some better technology. All right, we got this guy right here, bottom of the screen. He's just going to sit here and run this little dig sit. John Mateer is going to hit him in that first window. Ugh. And these are the balls that, man, like just consistently making these throws, picking up these kind of explosive / chunk yardage plays. You do that consistently, man, build momentum over the course of a game, over a season. Your offense gets in rhythm. I'm ready to see how John Mateer actually looks against Texas A&M, how he looks up against LSU. These teams with a little more on defense, a little bit more stakes at risk. But that was a good throw nonetheless, man. This guy got an arm. I got to give it to him. He has an arm. And the thing is, I know I'm only looking through a few minutes of some film that I composed or compilated, but the dude, I mean, hey, he got something behind it, and these are tight spirals that he's throwing in coverage. So let's just look through a few more of these throws. Like, come on. This throw here, and you know, you take the good with the bad, but this was it was an overthrown ball, nonetheless. But also a great read by TJ Metcalf. Like I said, the Arkansas transfer. Um, let's see what we got here. Maybe there's a miscommunication. It looks more like here than anything, he just really threw this ball off his back foot. And I think that's just a mechanical issue. You're gonna see it. He gonna throw this ball kind of off his back foot, and that's really why that ball sailed. But TJ Metcalf there looked like just kind of sitting in a deep zone, or maybe even playing like a poacher. He's gonna get to this ball, just being in the right place at the right time. I like him, and I'll say this too. I know I keep mentioning him, but he's a dog. I think he's a dog. I love the way he plays the game. Nice size, uh, very physical, safety, an old school safety in the way he plays in the run game, not scared of contact. And I'm talking about how I have perceived him from his Arkansas days. So good ball player. Okay. All right, we got this 6-man surface. Okay. Got a 6-man service. And Joe Klatt, I was watching him earlier today, but he really mentioned something that is very true. And that is a lot of whatever it is, like if you look at football as a math equation, okay, it'll help you understand it so much better. Run game, pass game, coordinators, offensive coordinators are always looking for numbers. Defensive coordinators are always trying to subtract numbers. So I guess offensive coordinators are always trying to add numbers. Defensive coordinators are always trying to subtract numbers. Okay. We always want more than they have on both sides of the ball. So I like this kind of read speed option. I think that's a little tricky nuance. Really putting this defensive end edge here in conflict because, you know, just that ball hold by John Mateer in itself, right, is going to freeze this defensive end enough that even if he had squeezed a little bit more, this quarterback could have kept it. However, he held water for a decent amount of time. And so just that right there in itself freezes him enough for Mateer to make this pitch and for this guy to get upfield. So that's good stuff. But granted, I think they did a decent job. This guy did a good job running the alley. I feel like they could have did a better job. Of course, vicing his tackle, and this guy, kind of getting a hat on the hat, right? This guy, how he played a little bit faster, probably been there for the cutback. But he was able to split these defenders, and that's just what it is at the end of the day. These guys are all playmakers, and so sometimes you make these kind of plays, but pick up a first down. The 2nd and 5 situation where if you make the tackle, right, you got them in a 3rd and medium situation, and who knows. But it's those plays that aren't read on the stat sheet. So, all right, here we got Oklahoma. Just a few more plays, guys. Stick with me. We love football. Hang out with me for a few more plays. So here we got 10 personnel look. In Oklahoma, right? I like because I watch my other stuff. Like I said, I was watching Joe Klatt. That was a good catch. Cole Kmet, that was a great catch. But I watched my other stuff. So Joe Klatt, right? Something that I took from him and his thoughts on this game was look at the depth that Oklahoma is playing at, right? These guys in there, look at this. Look at this. We're 3rd and 6 right now. They're not even they're a yard off the sticks in a 3rd and in an obvious passing situation. They fear no threat. Any of these guys beating them vertical. None. So that in itself is kind of one of those things that Michigan, I know I said this was more Oklahoma, but Michigan is going to have to fix in terms of like taking shots and getting speed and stuff like that. But that just opens. I mean, they feel like our men are better than yours. What they say, our dudes are better than your dudes, and so that in that sense, I have a hat here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is my quarterback, so it's not much he's gonna add in the blocking game. So I really got 6 on 7 or 7 on 6. So of course, it's gonna make any run play, that much more difficult. I mean, Justice Haynes does what he can right here at this inside zone, trying to find a cutback lane. But realistically, it's just too much, and he gets stumped up again. So I think here in the game, at this point in the game, that's where the frustration is starting to start for him, and he's just not, too fond of that. That was another hard lick. Ugh. All right. Michigan here on a few plays later. This is a very creative way to do split zone. Let's go back to it. All right, so they're in this 11 personnel look, and you're gonna have a Trey look to this side. You got this tight end right here, tucked in there. So this single receiver, he's gonna motion across. Okay. And then you're gonna have zone, 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 zone. Everybody else is gonna zone down. He's coming across. And I really feel like he probably could have got a piece of that tight end, but he probably knew better than to do that. But that's all this is, really a split zone. Okay. A few more plays. All right, let's see. Oklahoma, defensively, 4-man front. They really gonna be in this 4-2-5. Basic depth, 1st and 10. We got a condensed receiver to this side, 11 personnel, and a condensed splits to the field as well. So like I said, Michigan just did a good job, I will say, uh, getting Bryce outside the pocket, or in this case, Bryce knew to exit the pocket, kind of deliver a good throw. So I think for other teams playing Oklahoma this season, the opportunity is going to be there for you to find soft spots in their zones. Especially, I think LSU plays each other this season, or LSU plays Oklahoma this year. They're going to be very pass heavy. Um, and so they'll find ways to kind of exploit some of these softer zone looks if Oklahoma doesn't clean it up. But that's just a good catch and toss right there. Good pickup. And then last play right here. Just a simple quarterback keeper. Unfortunately, I guess I didn't start it from the beginning. So, okay. All right, so I think Oklahoma does a good job with these quarterback options, making it really, these are quarterback design runs. I mean, they're options nonetheless. However, I think more the objective with these is to freeze defenders for the keep, because we're going to go from quarterback option here to a kick there, and he's following his guards and he's just looking for a cutback lane. Ugh. And it's just like that. Just like that. So, guys, I appreciate you for sticking around watching this tonight. For those of you who don't know, my name is Corey. Uh, like I said, guys, I'm gonna get back on it. I have been slacking on my channel, on this channel, on our channel, but I'm gonna get back on it. We're still relatively early in the college football season, so that's the good part about it. Um, just been trying to get some life things in order for myself to deliver a better quality product. I mean that. I really mean that. Um, However, got some good things coming. Will continue to come with these lives and other stuff like that on the channel throughout the course of the football season. I'm really excited for the end of football season. In their off season, we're going to be doing a lot more traveling around. Definitely going to be adding a lot of value to the channel with some of the things I got planned. And I mean, aside from that, be sure to follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Those are the three places you can find me. Drop whatever your thoughts are in the comments below. Continue to rock out with us and support. We are headed to the top, and I appreciate you for joining the Modest Sports Show tonight. You have a